Well, folks, you had a taste yesterday, and we know you want more. So welcome back to day 2 of Verizon Game Changers. I am your host, Elizabeth, and if you're just joining us today, well, we have a heck of a bracket to get through. So let's get to it. Wyatt, Bala, get in here, because school! Because we have an insane day ahead of us. Wyatt, welcome to the desk. We didn't have you back here yesterday. Looking good with the glasses. Hi.
Thank you. I'm trying to make sure that my eyes don't dry out from staring into light with a camera while there's a fan above me. So I put on my glasses. And so I can look intelligent. They've been saying that I'm stupid, that I don't know what I'm talking about. It's time to take that, narrative away by trying to make myself look smart while still not being able to provide any valuable insight at all.
Wow. Bala, how you doing?
Wait, what is that? That's crazy. All right, that's crazy. I'm doing good. I don't look as smart as Wyatt, but by the way, it's working. You always look smart.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm excited for these games today. I think we had a big upset yesterday, and today is the upper bracket games that we're very excited to watch. So Passion Project is something that I haven't really seen yet because they were on the other stream yesterday, and it might be top 3 in this after FlyQuest lost.
And just in case you are joining us for the first time, you couldn't join us yesterday, we have a little bit of a recap video for you, so stay right there, get comfy, because we got something to watch. It has been too long, everyone. Welcome to Verizon VALORANT Game Changers Series 2.
These pretzels are making me thirsty. Which, if you catch the reference, you're a goat. A couple of the players who have gotten into B.
Lace being a little aggressive on that A, but Marceline.
By the flash, also the teleport up. Zabubu inside a mail. Able to trade back as they only lose 1, plus the lineup walk for 2 and 3. Opening first works out really for both teams. None worse for the wearer, but Zabubu still pushing forward. And now Scary Shark follows up. The kills are so clean.
Looked at a Sage wall when there were motion pistols on the team. We were like, oh, that's annoying. This chamber, we wondered what it would do, and it's not causing the havoc, but it is causing a reason for concern.
Into that diversion as well, slowly working themselves inward while Kasler works it out. And it's Reform that just continues to wreak havoc on the site. Thrash now finding the Viper. Actually not. Continuing it along, finding it in the smoke.
Reform, so it's almost has to be a last-second hit.
Ooh, nice headshot. Though Millie picks it up pretty nicely.
I've seen the fall towards Nesso. Back and forth. Jump peek.
Millie's trying to push some of those op shots on the side of Reform, but the attacking side can't seem to hold. Well settled down. Trying to give way for something else. They know the location of Slandy. Slandy better to the touch forward, and is this it
this
for
Wallow.
them?
Last player standing.
One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining.
Well, full body chills from that video. So if you didn't join us yesterday, I hope you have no plans later today, because I want you sat here ready to watch. We have Passion Project versus Solstice, and then we have Shopify Rebellion versus Reformed. Now, Bala was talking about it earlier. The Solstice defeating FlyQuest yesterday was a bit of an upset, Bala.
Yeah, it definitely was, and unfortunately, FlyQuest not reliving the performance that they had in the first series and immediately fall into the lower bracket. It means a lot for them because they were chasing Shopify in terms of the series point. They were outpacing everybody else. So yeah, down the lower bracket, they should be able to advance still, but it's going to be a lot harder. And Solstice coming out of that looking very good for this upper bracket bout against Passion Project.
Yes, and Wyatt, we said something on the desk yesterday that's kind of Bible. We're going to teach it to you now, okay? Because Mel said it to me before the games. Don't sleep on the free agent teams, okay? That's Bible.
I mean, yeah, and I agree, and that's true, and that makes sense. And that's a lot of the teams in this list, actually.
Yes, exactly.
I think that's 6 of them.
Yeah, 6 out of 8, yeah.
It's a lot of the teams. And that is essentially talking about the trend that we've seen for a while now, since late last year in GC, of just so many of the teams being inhabited by players that you know, if you're a dedicated viewer of GC and you've watched the first couple of years that you didn't see around them, and you know, it's definitely an era of a lot of the upcoming talent that were grinding up towards the scene in the first couple of years of C9 White are now actually, you know, they're at the top of the scene competing against them.
Yes, I know. This is so exciting. You know, Game Changers is always growing, always evolving, and this is such an exciting time to be in Game Changers to watch. I mean, I'm just for example, like you're talking about like the FlyQuest loss, and now we have two yesterday. Now they're gonna be facing Teddy Tactics, who is a team that has been grinding in the marginalized gender scene for so long. Which is so awesome to see. But we also have to talk about the team we'll be watching first, one of the teams we'll be watching first, which is Solstice. As Bala was talking about, they had such an incredible dynamic performance yesterday. I interviewed Sabubu after, and she was just very, you know, just like, yeah, we work hard, we do great. And she was very confident, very happy to be a part of this team. But we had some amazing performances yesterday, Bala.
Yeah, I mean, overall, what I took away from that interview, right, is that they're super grateful to be here in the first place, to be able to step up and challenge some of these teams. You know, she mentioned being really excited to play against Passion Project, to play against Shopify, and I think for one of these, like a team like this, a team like Teddy Tactics you just mentioned, this is for a lot of them their first time in a main event, right? I think only Scary Shark in this lineup has experience deep in a main event. So yeah, this is the type of team that it is, and yeah, they impressed yesterday. I mean, they looked on point. I was thinking, especially with the change coming in, that they're gonna have to with Nora, Scary Shark coming into the roster, they're gonna have to change things up and be a little slow to start. But no, right off the bat, they looked fantastic. So definitely a team to look out for, and also can challenge Passion Project in this match.
Yes, something that was really exciting from yesterday was Melia. Melia was kind of the perma-clove that we saw picked, and they just did such an excellent job using that agent and being hyper-aggressive. I think I said yesterday, like the fine, I'll do it myself mentality was just truly spectacular from Melia. And seeing the clove used in competition, Wyatt, is so exciting.
For sure. We've seen it on a couple maps in some other leagues, etc., but not 3 maps in a row in a series, at least that I know. This is the first time I've seen that, which is pretty sick. I mean, there's a lot to be explored with the agent that I don't think has been yet. Usually that is the case for when a new agent is added to the game, even if they are pretty strong. It takes a while often for them to get played as much as they should have. And I remember with other smoke agents like Astra. Astra was so OP when she got into the game, and then after, you know, a bit of time, everyone was using Astra. Will we see the same with Clove? I don't know, probably not. But they're definitely strong, and they definitely have a lot of usage, which was so on display.
It's so exciting, Bala, to see an agent like this used, but not only used just like in gameplay, because you can play an agent and just kind of default, if you will, but really using Clove to their fullest potential.
Yeah, and I think Sabubu was talking about how they're kind of using it as a double duelist, right, with Melia having experience in that duelist role in the past. And a lot of the times it was paired up with the double controller, and I think that's kind of where it might have lacked a little bit. I mean, we saw the split map that they played, that didn't go their direction. It was still good, but yeah, there's definitely some implementation things that they got to work out. But what matters is that Melia feels comfortable. And so I'm excited to see that continue. I'm hoping that they continue to be perma-clove, because I really do think that that's an advantage in a tournament like this, where you're one of the few teams who's doing that sort of thing, playing it on all maps, being really proficient at it, and trying to catch people off guard. As you get deeper in the tournament, it's going to be harder. Obviously, these teams are much better, but it's one of those things as well that they might not be experienced against playing them too much in scrims and stuff.
Yes, and obviously that support with that controller role. We saw Nora, Scary Shark, on the Viper quite a lot, and Nora we talked about her before the game, in that she has that LAN experience, she has that org experience, being such a rock for that team. But she was at least good for 2 literally every single time she showed up and was alive.
Yeah, she was incredible. She went like plus 24, 20 something for this series, which is really, really outrageous against one of the top teams in a game that you just simply did not expect Solstice to be winning. And obviously she was one of the main reasons that happened. So massive, massive credit there. and excited to see what she could do again against another top team today.
Yeah. I think for me, I was watching, especially the way that he was repositioning around certain plays that were being made, was super cohesive with the rest of their team, right? Like consistently putting themselves in a position to find two in moments like this, right? And I think in the game against Fly, it was Fly really making some good plays and them being able to outplay. So I'm thinking like the good teams who are very proactive, who are constantly making calls and not just kind of letting the game come to them, are going to run into some issues and have to actually adapt when they might not be expecting to need to. And that could, again, be an advantage for Solstice here.
Yes, and Solstice will be playing Passion Project. I'm sure you recognize some names on the roster if you've been paying attention, but if you haven't, please let us introduce you to Passion Project. There are some game changers, heavyweights on here.
There's a free agent team!
Oh,
There's a free agent team!
I know, crazy. But you have some true, like, you know, Power Pixel, Unstable, Jazzy, Sabui, and Lazy Lion are all such heavy hitters in the GC scene that all of them on one team, you'd be like, wow, that's such a stacked roster. But all of them together, Wyatt, is a scary, scary roster.
They've been on a super hot run for a series too. They've won 7 games in a row now. They've only lost 1 map. They've already beaten FlyQuest as well, like solid wins over top teams. Yeah, they look sick. I'm a big fan of many players on this roster, but I specifically was really happy to see Lazy Lion on a really top team this year. They impressed me so much, having some breakout play late last year and have remained super impressed. So excited to see what they can do as this team improves, despite being a free agent team.
Yeah, and for me too, this is the team that qualified in the qualifier 1, right? So we hadn't really up until yesterday seen too much of them in the Game Changers circuit. So I think with Shopify skipping out on that first qualifier, they gave themselves the chance to really nail it, and they did. And so that's what you're hearing Wyatt talk about there, that streak that they're going for. This is a team that I think was super people were excited for them, touted as one of the teams that could definitely go deep, make it to an international tournament, that sort of thing, because they have that experience. It's just last event was their first event, and it wasn't quite the breakout performance that they were hoping for. It was solid, don't get me wrong, but landing 4th last event is definitely something that they need to improve on going forward.
Yes, and of course the points are worth more in Stage 2 moving forward, gaining those points. But if you weren't watching the broadcast yesterday, you might have missed that Passion Project played on stream on the secondary stream, Radiant.gg. Don't forget to tune in. Played against Teddy Tactics. And Bala said something, we haven't seen too much of them. And that was quite the case yesterday because those were rather short games. Wyatt, 13-1 and 13-5.
Yeah, the dominant scorelines you definitely expect, and if you want them to have a result like Ball was mentioning, which I definitely do, which is better than top 4, that's what they need. They should be blowing out these teams that are on the, bottom edge of the teams that we have here in the playoffs, right? I mean, when you look at this roster, the expectations are they should be a team that is, vying for grand finals appearances. Minimum, honestly. Like, they should always be in that conversation with this roster.
Yes. Their firepower is so scary, and I think I interviewed Jazzy Kins last stage, the list review, if you will, and she is just so calm and collected when it comes to this team, but they are so just precise, absolute killers in the server. They are so scary, and like we were talking about, that run maybe wasn't what we were looking for last time, Bala, but kind of a precursor of what is to come, because they are looking better than ever.
Absolutely. So I'm looking forward to see them continue in this one. There's definitely heavy hitters on this team. You guys have been speaking to it over and over, but yeah, I mean, moments in this last game too that are definitely exciting from everybody. It was a team effort too. You look at the match, you watch it, you look at the stats. Nothing really stands out outside of them just stomping. And I think starting off hot like that is really important to the confidence, because they did have in this round a failure to beat FlyQuest Red last time, which was a top team. That is who got 2nd place. But I think you heard Jazzykins back then talk about how they just weren't in it on that day, and finding the momentum early is super important in a tournament like this.
Why, I'm going to come to you next. Now, we're talking about kind of these, we've been talking such a grand manner about these two teams. Solstice coming in with that upset, playing incredibly well. Passion Project being the team that we know and love and really can see kind of taking it all. When you put them head to head, who do you think kind of comes out with that like slight edge?
I would definitely give it to Passion Project a lot based on their experience in situations deep in the tournaments like this, which 3 of the players on Solstice just don't really have at all. For 3 of the players, especially like Sabubu, Elaborate, this is their first time really even playing on a team that's made playoffs, that has a notable name. Like you'd have to be pretty deep in the Game Changers scene to have been familiar with these players really until now. And when you look at the comparison experience for Passion Project, it's just on a totally different level. They're led by Jazzy, who's been around since literally day one on top like 4 team placements minimum, right? Like it's just a totally different a gap in how much experience they have and how valuable that is.
Well, some people who have a similar amount of experience are Power Pixel and Scary Shark. I believe they both played on EG together, but now they've been going head to head against each other. And just they're to be clear, they're not each team's duelists. They're support players. But some looking at these numbers, Bala, definitely very impressive.
Oh, absolutely. And the reason I'm excited for this is because it was that, Scary Shark did sub for that EG team who looked so hot coming out of Series 3 last year and made it to the International in the first place. And so they have experience, they're going to go at each other in the server, and that's always fun to watch. It's kind of a little rivalry, whether or not, the players think about it that way. It's always fun, whether it's friendly or whether it's, they're going at each other in a different manner. It's super fun. But yeah, similar roles and similar stats. So this is definitely one to look out for, because when you have these types of relationships, a lot of times they can be the factors that drive the play calling, that drive the energy, because there's little extra motivation factor for each individual player.
Yeah, these are obviously, sometimes duelists get all the attention because of their high impact, high movement, literally, but that can happen without in some incredible support players. And Scary Shark / Nora, they're also known as Nora, and Power Pixel are just some insane players and always have been, and have been so dedicated to the grind in the scene for so long that it's just so great to see them. But it's also kind of like a little bittersweet to see them competing against each other, but competition is competition, and that is what Game Changers is all about. But as a reminder, it is Solstice versus Passion Project, and we said yesterday this was an upset. So see, Wyatt said they're going to give a little bit more to Passion Project in terms of that edge, but Solstice came out yesterday against FlyQuest Red. But we have the maps here. We have Lotus, Ascent, and Sunset. We didn't see an Ascent yesterday. We did see a Lotus and a Sunset. But Bala, does anything stick out to you right now looking at these maps?
No, definitely not. The Lotus one, the pick for Solstice, is definitely one that they played fantastic on yesterday. Whereas we also saw Passion Project play Ascent yesterday. So it's those types of picks that I think you see early in a tournament and then end up leaning away from them because you don't want to play the maps that you've seen too much on. But we're still early, so I'm not thinking that there's any crazy counter picks going on right now. I think this is fun for both sides, and I do think that Clove from Melia on Lotus was quite good, but not the best out of the 3 maps that we saw.
Yeah, this seems pretty good for both teams, honestly. Like, both teams are still solid on the other's pick as well. So definitely seems like it lends itself to this being a pretty close series.
Yes, I'm personally, my prediction, don't want to curse it, I think we're going to go to a map 3. I think we'll go all the way to Sunset as the decider. But you did bring up Melia, and we can bring it up now. We just received word that Melia is dealing with a bit of a power issue. So Panini will be subbing in for Melia. So we might not see that Clove. And so Panini coming in, they may choose to play Clove. They may not. That is always a really tricky decision to make when you have a player that is unable to play. Do you slot them in, or do you change your agent composition around to fit it? TSM recently tried to do that with a proto who had a medical emergency, and they decided to just slot their assistant coach in where a proto would be. Why, in this case, what do you think they might do? Do you think they might just tell Panini to go perma-Clove, or do you think they might work around Panini's agent pool?
I mean, Panini does play smoke, so I'm expecting that they've played a lot of Clove and ranked and that kind of thing. So yeah, I'm gonna expect they're just gonna have Panini play Clove and try to stick to the game plan that they've been running. And honestly, even I think of all the smokes agents to play, maybe this is a total lie, but having them play Clove as a sub doesn't seem too bad because they can still kind of play aggro and a bit loose with it. If they mess up, they'll have smokes for in post-mortem smokes. So you can kind of have some freedom as a sub in that way and not having to be super tied down to a game plan.
I don't know if it's just me, but when we went to this full screen, wow, you do look smart, bro.
You look so smart!
Me making a good point. Yes.
But I actually disagree with you. I do disagree with you. I think when you're ending up pugging in a more structured setting, like sure, Clove is a good agent to pick up. It's very easy. It's very simple, that sort of thing. You can definitely snowball with them. But I think a more traditional smoker in a lot of cases is just going to be better for most players who are trying to slot into something where they also have to feel comfortable with the entire game plan that's going on. So I think that's the first thing that I want to look at in Agent Select, and it's going to be interesting either way because I think Panini's a great player and definitely can fill the shoes of Melia.
Yes, it's we hope Melia gets her power back soon. We would love to see Melia play as soon as they can. But Panini is such a treat to watch play as well. They are excellent at the game. But going back to what you were saying about slotting in, it's not only the Panini having to play Clove or another agent. The entire team has to play around them. So about that, sort of like the game plan, they might be used to that Clove game plan. They might not be ready for an Omen TP or a Blind or even, an Astra Gravity Well. So it does affect everyone. So subbing isn't just, all right, kind of square peg, square hole, it'll work out. It can be a very detrimental thing. It's not easy. See TSM, the example I gave, they came out on top, sure did play exceptionally well on the Cypher and did his job well. And I do believe in Panini being able to do well. I just it's kind of this kind of give it. Oh, look at that.
Easy
Panini
pot.
will be taking Clove.
That's not, I mean, it feels kind of surprising, but then again, what you heard from Sabubu yesterday in terms of like the philosophy of going for it, maybe not so much. And yeah, ranked character through and through. So if you're comfortable in that aspect, absolutely you're going to pick it. For Passion Project, I love their comp. I've always loved this type of idea, but without the Viper on Lotus, it's kind of, it's very interesting.
Yeah, it can definitely be tough on the attack side, trying to manage that A rubble area. It's more difficult to work a solo player in deep there to control that space on attack, so you can be able to pivot back there later. But also, alternatively with their comp with the double initiator, that just offers a ton of really powerful utility to work off of, and especially on defense, the breach is so good at controlling that area. And on attack too, those early stun lines are really nice. So just going to be expecting them to, be very aggro with that double initiator setup in that way.
Well, off of that very intelligent point, why I'm going to be sending it to our casters, Lemon Kiwi and Vansili. Friends, the game is in your hands. Please take it away.
There's some smart looking people on that desk. I got it. Yeah, I love that.
I'm trying to look smart too. I was trying to find glasses. I couldn't find any. So this is the best next thing that I have.
Great. I'm glad you can totally see out of those because we're going to need another set of eyes on this one. We got Solstice versus Passion Project. We got Passion. We got Solstice. A time of new beginnings. The heavy hitters versus the underdogs. Who's going to the upper final? It's going to be a good match.
A very good game. And especially there is going to be a lot of eyes on Panini as well. They mentioned it on the desk. Are we going to try to have, like usually Panini playing a controller in their past experiences? Are they going to mix some roles here and there? But it seems as though Panini is just going to slot into that Clove, and the game plan is going to stay the same here for Solstice. What's going to be fun about this game, though, is Passion Project also played this yesterday against Teddy Tactics, where they found a lot of value on their attack side just through gaps of where Teddy Tactics was running their defense. So I feel that they're a lot more comfortable playing this map because of that 13-1 result that they've gotten against Teddy Tactics, and they're going to try to prove that off the rip. They're going to group 5 players together, try to work towards this A site, and then we're just probably going to see what's going to happen after.
Yeah, we'll get to pistols. We're just ramping up the tension for sure, and a lot of tension when Passion Project won the first qualifier, so we didn't get to see that much. They just
That's true.
already made it here. So there's not as much tape on them compared to Solstice.
That's the fun part too, because on Open Qualifier number 1, Shopify Rebellion wasn't playing that event, right? Shopify Rebellion as a team, I think we're playing that Red Bull event out in London. I forgot what it was called, but it allowed here Passion Project to just have an easy win on the first one, go straight into the main event, and then Open Qualifiers too. Though it was different names all the time. It wasn't, oddly enough, a team like FlyQuest that was going to be able to win and come through and be one of those favorites in the top 8. Or actually, our number 3 seed is actually Reform, the second series that we will witness later on today on this stream between Shopify Rebellion and Reform. So it's been a nice little storyline to see how that gap is starting to slowly close here in the Open Qualifier, or even in the main event and the series number 2 of the Game Changers here in North America. And whilst as we're looking at it, Solstice, let's hype them up a bit. If you haven't had a chance to watch their game yesterday, though, against FlyQuest, I mean, as I just mentioned, FlyQuest, they couldn't finish as strong as they wanted to throughout these open qualifiers and still made it to the main event because they still had enough points. And it's a chance for redemption for them to continue to make it strong, make a strong showing, because those circuit points are going to be super important going into GC3, because everybody's going to pretty much race to see who's going to be that second invited team based off the points. And Solstice yesterday already showed a great performance to upset FlyQuest off the back of not only Scary Shark, but Melia, right? If you're looking at it, Melia is currently not in a roster right now. That's gonna hurt a lot in terms of how much firepower that she brought to the table. Not saying that Panini can't do it, because she also has that experience, right, from playing with Shopify Rebellion in the past, has played on a big stage before, played GC Champs in Berlin in 2022. So there's still some firepower for Panini. But overall, though, you kind of want that synergy that you had and that rhythm that you built from yesterday's upset against FlyQuest.
Yeah, Malia played with them in Qualifier 3, and I mean, speaking of points, like, that's how Solstice made it to this main event. Just consistency. Top 4 in the first qualifier, top 8 in the second qualifier, top 4 in the third qualifier. Making it to the main event, you know, without maybe a big winning banner the same way that Passion Project do, but it took a lot of roster changes, and whether it's people getting benched or fully dropped, this is the roster that they landed on. And what a big splash as someone like Nora did, coming in to replace Raven as a new controller player, or Nora, aka Scary Shark.
Yeah.
How good she was on Lotus. Incredible stuff on the Viper yesterday.
Yep, and in general too, I think I remember her ringing as well for EG having to play a Viper on a Lotus, or even another team that was on Game Changers, and she just popped off. But just to let you know here, chat, we just have a small technical issue. Marceline just had a PC crash, so we're just going to wait for her to come back into the server, and then we can get this game started. I'm actually at the point to say, should I just start saying it in the French way, because we are both French people here, Lemon Kiwi? We could just say Marceline. But I also feel that once we get back to the break and back to the analyst desk, Ball is just going to maul the whole time.
Yes. Well, he's stuck at the desk. We're safe in our remote booth.
That's true. Marceline.
Marceline.
But
we gotta teach them French.
but yeah, for sure. Jokes aside, I feel that this is still going to be a great game that's up ahead for that we're about to witness between these two teams. Because yes, if you're just going to be like a scoreboard Steven and you're watching the results of the scoreboards and you're seeing how it was pretty one-sided for Passion Project yesterday against Teddy Tactics, and how Solstice somehow got the upset against FlyQuest, you would still think here that this should be an easy win for Passion Project. But if you actually looked at those games from Solstice yesterday, at least there was a lot of good fundamentals that came out from this team, where, when you're swinging out of smokes, they're swinging out on the extremities. When they're actually trying to get perfect, good trades, they're actually perfect trades, great ping pong swings. So those type of fundamentals under the chaos when you're fighting against your opponents is actually so nice to have, to not be afraid to like give your, to like just drop in and lose your frag, because you could trust your teammate on the trade. So it's just really good fundamentals Valorant that they've been displaying in their games yesterday. On top of that, a great game plan too from how they played against FlyQuest.
It was so fun to watch all of them, but you're going up against the goats of Passion Project. Like, I've been a fan of Jazzykins for so long. Like, you have so many incredible pieces on this Passion Project side of from Complexity, EG, Cloud9, whatever. And there's still some players on the rise. Like, this is just not an all juggernaut squad. There's people like Unstable and Lazy Lion who got discovered on DSG trying out there and made a huge splash in the game changer scene. And then once DSG disbanded, they get on Passion Project and they get to compete with just some of the best players that Game Changers has ever known.
For sure. And even when you're looking at Unstable and Lazy Lion too, in that roster for DSG on paper for Game Changers, it was supposed to be a pretty good powerhouse team that could potentially topple down the top dogs like Shopify Rebellion or EG back then, right? But unfortunately, they kind of fell short, and there was these moments where, under the big matches and whatnot, we were unfortunately not seeing the results that we're expecting coming out of the DSG roster. But what I like about this roster now here from Passion Project is how they got together here with Jazzykins, like ex-EG players, PowerPix LA as well, and they look pretty good, and Sibui as well, of course. So all 5 of these players are now just like gelling, and for me, it almost is like the Game Changers version of Turtle Troop right now, because they don't really have a coaching system. And Turtle Troop, by the way, Chad, if you don't follow Challengers, it's a Challengers unsigned team that's been killing it so far in a Challenger scene. So make sure you guys check that out when you have a chance here and find out when Challengers is going through. But to draw that line and that similarity between these two rosters is, they have a couple of voices in the roster, not just one IGL, but they have some great minds that could kind of do their own thing. So as a main IGL, if you're going to be a main caller, you don't have to like puppeteer your teammates too much, especially if you're an unsigned team and you're not playing with the same pressure of like, oh, we need to be signed. It's just you're vibing as 5 players and you're showing the best results so far. So I'm liking this storyline that we've seen so far from Passion Project. Again, just to draw similar lines as Turtle Troops.
Yeah, and Elizabeth mentioned in the green room that she talked to Passion Project and kind of was trying to figure out what is the IGL system, and very democratic communication system. No single IGL. Everyone's contributing ideas. Everyone has the same weight on the team. So that's awesome to see. And I love that you mentioned Sibui, because she has a really cool story too, of being noticed on Newt last year, joining Shopify Rebellion, and then the rest is history, quite literally making history, getting top 4s in GC. This is really tight competition. So I'm wondering how that competition is going to look like once we get everybody in the lobby. We may have some substitutes, but we're starting very soon, promise.
And at least to continue on with those multiple voices here in the team for Passion Project is speaking more specifically here to Jazzykins, PowerPix LA, or Unstable, for example, right? If you're looking at Unstable's role, they've been playing a lot of initiator role back in DSG, doing that a little bit more now with Passion Project. Had experiences as playing a duelist in the past that are just like basically a fragger that could play multiple roles. Lazy Lion has been the main duelist usually for DSG, and now when you're looking at how Passion Project kind of plays, usually in these maps where you need a raise, they're going to give that responsibility to Jazzykins, while when we have a jet map, you're probably going to see somebody like, and it's the opposite. It's Unstable, if I'm not mistaken, that plays a duelist, and the Lazy Lion that plays the initiator, either or. But when it's a jet map, you're going to give it to Unstable, and when it's going to be a raise map, you're going to give it to Jazzykins. So, which is why we're seeing here potentially once we get back inside the game, this composition as to why it's come across this way for this team for Passion Project, and yeah, just to show that they have so many players that could flex into different roles.
That is what's so good about Passion Project, is that level of flexibility where you're wondering, oh, do they have a weakness? Do you take them to this map? Because I don't know. And yeah, like you said, Jazzykins on the Raze and then Unstable on the Jet. But then this kind of creates a ripple effect of all the roles that are being swapped, where if Jazzykins is on Raze, Unstable is on the Initiator, Lazy Lion's on Sentinel. If Jet is If Unstable's on Jet, then Jazzykins goes Killjoy, leaving Lazy Lion to go Initiators like Sova. So they are truly players that can do anything. And I mean, Solstice are going to have to face that same challenge, having players being subbed in and out. And they've been able to adapt and overcome. They've played with kind of a different roster every qualifier and keep those players on the bench. And now that there's internet issues, thank God there's somebody on the bench, you know?
We're all on the bench right now, just waiting for the game to start. But if not, Jazzykins, as you mentioned, also plays Sentinel roles on like Ascent, right? And that's going to be the second map coming up in the series. So again, it's 5 players are just vibing on that side, and it just seems to gel well enough that it doesn't really matter what type of roles they're quote unquote forced to play, just because they're trusting each other in the process that, you know, they're going to carry in the roles that they need to carry, and maybe just building around like who wants to play that main duelist for whatever map. So it's pretty fun to see, and it's pretty fun how they approach. It's pretty nice to see how they approach their vision around these maps and how they approach the strategy around these maps. But to go back here to Solstice, as we're trying to get an update right now, I feel that there might be another change coming through. So as soon as we're figuring out, I think we just got word that they're loading into the server now. It might change some comps here and there based on agents too, because power outages, PC resetting and whatnot. So I'm just going to wait until we finally get into the server and see what we got. And then at least we'll have an idea of who's going to play what. But one last time, just to look at, you know, how both of these teams kind of approach their attack side on Lotus is, like I said before, like for Passion Project, they were doing a lot of like this defaulting things and able to find gaps of like, once they add pressure on C, for example, there's just players that could be inexperienced that would be over-rotating or rotating in different paths will easily get punished by Passion Project, and they're okay with like rotating and mid-rounding with 30 to 20 seconds left in a round. If not, they're okay with 5-player hits as well. And what we see here from Solstice, from adding this clove to their composition, was that they were fairly aggressive and very content to continue to fight with aggression past the line of the spike where it would go, so that they could actually cover even more than just playing inside the site or playing spam spots outside of the sites of like B or C or even A main, for example. So it's two nice little different approaches. There's going to be a lot of chaos in these pulse plants. I think both teams in their compositions allow for each other to be fairly poppy, despite Solstice not having too much of like the breach stun or whatnot, but they still find great value and great ways to entry towards these sites for a plant.
And we've casted quite a bit of Lotus in Challengers and kind of how Clove is emerging as the new part of that new meta. And what's interesting is that Viper has fallen out, you know, because of those nerfs, but Solstice will still put Scary Shark or Nora on that Viper, because that has so much stall potential, and that is so important, a pivotal part of their defense and offense to control the pace of the game, but then completely getting rid of that Omen. So there's not going to be an Omen TPing behind the site to kind of make any plays. You have less options in terms of paranoia into C, especially when there's a lot of walls to worry about. So it's kind of an interesting stylistic look from Solstice to opt for the Viper instead of the Omen.
And now we just have word to as well as to the situation is originally when we were going into the server, Melia wasn't going to play because she had power outages going on in her sector, which then brought in Panini to play as that Clove. But now, unfortunately, it's Marceline that has issues with power outages now. But Melia came back. So we're going back with Melia back in the server instead of Marceline. We're going to keep Panini in the server as well. But because they've already locked into the agents, oddly enough, and interesting enough, rather, you're not going to see Melia playing as the Clove. She's going to have to play Marceline's role while we're going to keep Panini on that Clove. So it's going to be very interesting to see how that synergy is going to be built and how that will pan out right now for Solstice. But again, if they're a team, unsigned team that's vibing just like Passion Project, I don't see and don't have any fear of the main game plan that they built, that it's not going to be really out of place.
I like that, and I think Melia is such a flexible player. She's actually played Duelist in the past, so if anyone's going to be coming in for Marceline, it's Melia, or Melia, sorry. But so it works out. Unfortunately, just I'm sure, hopefully, it didn't cause too many frustrations. But this is a team that has gone through the thick and thin. Like Sabubu, Elaborate, Wavy are a core 3 that have stayed together through all the qualifiers, who have changed the pieces in and out, but we'll stay together, like I said, through thick and thin.
And thankfully here, as we, just before we had the technical difficulties, Passion Project were getting ready to just 5-player hit towards this A site. And that plan doesn't seem to have changed at all. So starting things off in 10 seconds as the barriers are about to come up. There is going to be some opposition, though, from Solstice. They have 3 players on that side, and you can already see the Clove playing towards the staircase. So they have great ways here to maybe even meddle and flash and try to fight in that spot. Smoke's coming out early. Dizzy coming out very early to try to get information as well, but it's not in a spot here that when you're walking out for Passion Project that it's going to get discovered. So I love that they're walking forward to play contact and just try to play the surprise factor because Solstice has no info.
Good clears out of Passion Project. You've already checked Orb, you checked the baby door, Solstice, especially with the Viper nurse. You can't keep that Viper wall as long, up as long, so that allowed Passion Project to freely walk up, but with that lack of info, they're going to keep their lurker behind there of Lazy Line. With all that noise being made, they're going to draw up towards C. Checking that, though, is Elaborate. Both now Dizzy gone from Unstable. The Solstice just hold their ground.
Kind of like it too from Solstice. If you're looking at the kit currently, Elaborate just held on to that nanostorm the whole time, just waiting to make sure with the time that was remaining to use it at the right moment, not get that broken by Initiator Util. But it's a repump by Passion Project towards the A site, so they did pull out the defense from A. And now for Solstice, they have no choice but to play the retake.
All right. Smoke, Passion Project making their way through. It's the Aftershock that kills and Melia in a tough spot, but Panini has their back and up and above, struck down as Passion Project with the number advantage. They have Scary Shark Week. Melia is the last one remaining. The 1v2 totally possible. 20 HP each for Jazzy and Sabui. Melia will tap the spike, try to get Jazzy's attention carefully. Swinging, but the headshot locked in, and the paint shells to zone out stairs, and with the smoke in place, all thanks to Panini, and Melia is gonna clutch it by just sticking the defuse.
Very nicely played by Melia towards the end on that 1v2. First off, a great shot. The question was there as, okay, well, if Melia has to play the Raze going in right now, can she actually fill the shoes of Marceline that's not playing the Raze so far? And definitely she did. That was a nice, beautiful first shot, propped up the second nades, created that space, which then allows Panini to put that smoke to make sure you stick the defuse and you get that piss around for Solstice. A beautiful start to kick things off here for the underdogs of Solstice. Lots of money to work with. 4 Bulldogs across the board and full shields, actually. So they really want to invest in a lot in this round on the defensive side, just in case they have to fight against a Passion Project Laura Bai. And because of that plant, you're seeing on the other end, on the attack side, they got 4 shares. So it was a nice read to start things off for Solstice to go with this full armor.
Passion Project checking out A just like the last time, and Sabubu Jiggle Peek and Lazy Line will get it, but with stairs opened up, of course, the Solstice, the improved weapons, is going to win this at range. Now with that wall up, Passion Project can play the perimeter here of A, but with the person missing, it's going to be tough. Close smokes may allow them to pivot towards B. They're going to break down that door, and Sabubu could get a backstab once the smoke goes down. Wingman, see just how close they are. Sabubu will get checked by Passion Project, watching their flank. And it will be up to Lazy Line. Wins out against Sabubu, and the spike is planted. Numbers are even, but a lot of damage has been done to Passion Project already. Solstice taking angles around. Next, that baby door is Panini against Sabu. And with the Sheriff, will even get the weapon upgrade. Power XLA and Sabui, the ones left to defend this in the post plant, and it's Solstice with the defuse.
And you're gonna take it for Passion Project for sure. It was 4 Sheriffs, a couple of util. They lost a player in the process on a 4 versus 5. And when you're playing, I mean, it started off well with the ADS that you had from Panini to get that pick. But as soon as she dropped that Clove Smoke, it gave a chance here for Passion Project to just crunch in from the default that they ran with the last 4 players. They had 1 on C, 1 on B, 2 on A, just converge into the mid site on B, get a plant, and just play the pulse plant. Even if all your players die, it's okay. Your objective was to get orbs. Your objective was to get a plant. They got one of the orbs. They got the plant on their side. and even got kills on top of that. So look at the bonus round that Solstice has right now. It's actually non-existent. The best things that they have are the two, make that now the 3 Bulldogs that they just purchased on the 3rd one, but the other ones are only on pistols.
With that one way, Unstable's gonna have to leave that behind. The Passion Project leaning towards A long, and they'll smoke off stairs because that's how Passion Project got first blooded last time. And pressure, pivot towards B, just like last time. They don't get that opening pick. B becomes an option. Shazikins will pressure backside here with paint shells. Passion Project will get a free plan, it seems.
Yeah, and it's not even a wingman plant. Unstable just wanted to bait out the util first. Nicely done, knowing that Melia was going to pull out the showstopper.
That's another first blood for Solstice. Plant will continue, and Unstable extends out of the site. And Solstice, the numbers at range. Mel just gets crushed. And it's Sabui in a 1v2 with not the health, but maybe a better gun, but it's better shots out of Solstice in the bonus.
And that's one of the things yesterday when we mentioned the good plays that Solstice was bringing in their game on Lotus was their ability to play as a team and be coordinated on these retakes. When you're looking at this composition, it doesn't look like something that's textbook where we're going to stun and do a lot of flashes and just get some players when they're getting hit by utility here against us. It's just we're going to move through with that's the small amount of utility that we have, but make sure that we're coordinated on those swings, that we are patient also when the other person's not in the perfect timing to do that double swing. And it allows for them to have such beautiful retakes towards the end. That showstopper too was a nice little counter and a nice little delay here to allow Solstice to all group up and re-hit together. So Passion Project, not a round that they wanted, losing their gun run against Solstice's bonus, now stuck into a stinger buy with all the amounts of spike plants that they've had in the last few rounds, and Panini opens up with 2.
Stand and deliver, and of course the smoke at the choke, so Passion Project couldn't really go punish that. Initially that was the plan, right? Because they had the Gecko Flash and hit Elaborate, but it was all bait. And Passion Project lose 2 for after the first time that they've hit C cleanly after kind of disengaging in the past because of the one way. Now B becomes maybe a plan for Passion Project.
It's gonna be impossible. Well, I'd like to say that, but they're on a high-low right now, so I love that we had that smoke that came out from Sabui, but unfortunately it just got flamed by Melia, who pushed A main the whole time, rendering it very difficult here for Passion Project to even get any type of fakes going, any type of openings to allow for them to get a plant. At least Lazy Lion's able to get those 2 kills, forcing up the res already, but this is an opportunity for a plant.
It's not over. Lazy Lion with the SMG try to get the plant while they have some space to work with. Your wingman splashing around.
Probably not going to use it.
You invest in a 1v3. And Panini is down for the count. I like that Lazy Lion was playing safe. You hear them splashing to the right. Check waterfall. And with the smoke provided from Panini, Lazy Lion couldn't get the other gun up in time when Solstice came to scramble. Another successful retake out of this defense.
It felt at some point that Lazy Lion had that in the bag. They were well positioned. They almost, for me, it felt like they knew they had potential to win that 1 versus 3, but just needed that extra split second to figure out where those players could be. And you just saw them juggling a little bit too much around weapons over here. Look at the amount of times you just juggle between the Stinger and the Sheriff when maybe a Stinger could have mowed both of those players down. Unfortunate plays coming out from the attempt of that clutch, but at least, again, they get the plant, they get some money wasted over to Solstice in round number 5, so you're forcing the rebuy off 3 players. And Passion Project going back to their tried and true, just defaulting around the map. They have ults to work with this time around too, so they want to capitalize now on where the aggression's coming from. It's starting on the C side, from Solstice, and already picking up the spike, rotating towards the A side. You're trying to get value here of potentially getting tree control and getting this KJ ult into the A site.
Passion Project just trying to fight through mounds and realizing the aggression from Solstice and learning that lesson from getting 2-piece in the last round. Really wanting an orb for Power Pixel A at that moment. Now Thrash to clear the site for Unstable. The rest will follow through, can pick that up for round 2. Power or Passion Project have control of the site, and they have people watching the flank. Speaking of that, Scary Shark will be back there waiting for their chance.
I'm just waiting for this to calm down, trying to see if Solstice were kind of like set up to try to go for a trap play as soon as they tapped on that spike. But they looks like they held the patience for Passion Project. They went to aggress and attack against Solstice, caught them off guard, and now they're in a great spot here to get their first round.
Yeah, I thought I was going to see more action after Scary Shark. Maybe just saw the KJ util and wasn't sure where that lurk was from Lazy Lion. Either way, just maybe timing that crunch with the rest of Solstice. But with this attacker's lockdown, there's not really much Solstice could do. So at least Passion Project got a round on the board.
Yeah, and that's the thing. They, for me, I was going to mention the lockdown for them to take the A site, but even better, what they did was Unstable using the thrash just to clear around the A site, making sure that that's opened up, and just keep that lockdown for a post-plant scenario. Whereas as soon as they heard and saw the pressure coming out from spawn, that's when Lazy Lion put down their lockdown, and then it engaged and forced Solstice to press a little bit more because they had the clock not only from the spike but from the lockdown against them, and unfortunately wasn't enough for them to fight against what was left from Passion Project on the pulse plant. But you're seeing the game plan, at least for Solstice, how many times have they gone control here of Rubble and taken this orb? It's always been in their favor. While for Passion Project, they're still trying to default towards C, although there is that pressure on that side from Solstice as well. So they're trying as a game plan to just delay here and deny the opportunity of grabbing orbs on both sites for Passion Project, against Passion Project.
With the snake bites at the entrance and a judge, Passion Project just abandoned ship. No C for them, but pushed up is Sabubu. And they got assistance too from Mel. Does Passion Project look for pings off the flash? I think they got Mush. They're going for round two, but both are exchanged, and Unstable gets shot first. But Passion Project just had the better punish, because on the other side, Panini just took a safer corner, wasn't in a position to trade, but cutting them down, reading that B pivot, that Passion Project loved to do from A to B. Solstice shut that down. 1v2 though with a judge is not gonna be easy, but out of all the sites, B is not too bad to do it with.
Exactly. They already know that Scary Shark's playing the C site because the pit was up at the very beginning. The only thing right now is that you're outside of the range of the turret. So there's an opportunity. Oh, on that timing, the smoke just came up. So there's an opportunity now for Scary Shark to move through. But the unfortunate thing though is that she only has a judge and a classic against the last two players of Passion Project.
Scary Shark just gonna take that damage, hopefully fade out the engagement against Lazy Lion. The first shot, not enough. And a desperate round win for Passion Project to try and kind of equalize the economy.
Yeah, and again, it was just a nice little read towards the end, or a nice little pivot from the original pit. When they wanted to add the pressure on the C side, they know, okay, well, there's going to be some sort of potential aggression coming out from the A side because they've done it multiple times through these last few rounds for Solstice. So they did the nice little mosh towards Rubble, cleared that spot, nice double flash as well, just to make sure that you're able to win those duels. And when it came down to those one-on-one duels, was all in favor of Passion Project. So unfortunately, nothing more you could add onto Solstice. They had a good read. They just could win those fights on the A side contain. Allow Passion Project to capitalize on the second round here, and off those two rounds breaks the economy that Solstice currently has, and trying to play a three-player stack up towards this C site. No snake bites, no nothing here from Scary Shark, so almost feels to me you're trying to do a contact swing play.
Using Wingman as bait. Play some action from Solstice at C, trying to see really how many members of that team are holding down the site. You leave B open, you leave the turret behind. Meanwhile, Passion Project have made headway towards A with the door opening. Great delay from Elaborate. It's so annoying to deal with. Boombosh is gonna go through the smoke and really not get much info at a Passion Project, but here is the entry. A lot of weight on the Elaborate's shoulders as Panini is sitting in smoke, so Elaborate's not gonna get any help. And Passion Project just claimed first and second blood, but of course, against the eco of Solstice, you already imagined this was going to go Passion Project's way, but how expensive could Solstice make it? Nah, just one kill.
Yeah, not too much. I mean, body armor, that's pretty much it as well. But I like the attitude that Passion Project brings into this anti-eco. Usually you have a showstopper or Rolling Thunder, you want to try to guarantee some rounds. Maybe that Rolling Thunder is going to be at least a guarantee to get into sites, knock some players up, and have the advantage on your side when you're swinging to the unknown to try to clear out the sites. But instead, they just went with the contact play towards the back. You saw the flick coming through from Jazikins on the entry. They're just not afraid to fight back against Solstice, which is their playstyle on that end. For the defensive side, we're going quick here towards A.
Wait, Mel goes undetected there, and I don't think they were managed to get back into B, and Panini tried to support the rotate, but man, Passion Project just bulldozed their way into A, and look like I've already secured the round. There is some pretty good damage in the Passion Project, but full A control and the plant. You can already see a save coming in from Solstice.
Yeah, 100%. And that's off great utility coming out from Jazikins. Not only with the showstopper to clear a bit of that space, you definitely saw that Solstice tried to scatter away and break that door. At least when Panini made it through, you saw the follow-up, though, from the paint shells that Jazikins threw around that corner. That just forced players to continue to move out. She knew that there was 2 players there, just sprayed through the smoke, got the kill, and allowed Sibui to get even more space behind that wall and just punish Panini on a re-swing and trying to trade back and avenge her teammates. And already when you're seeing how they died, I mean, look at those X's on that radar. They died so close, yet not in real positions where they could trade off with each other instantly, like I was praising that Solstice is able to do. And that's off the chaos here of the showstopper of Passion Project. And now, like, they tie up the game here 4-4.
I know, I keep wanting to call them Power Picks.
I know.
Passion,
You're starting to put it in my mind. You're starting to put it in my mind.
I know. But man, after 4 back-to-back rounds from Passion Project, this is a great timeout out of Solstice because Passion Project have created advantages before the plant even goes down, either with first bloods or second bloods, because Solstice put themselves in these one-and-done positions. They're not always in... Their timings can be a little off, right? If Panini is usually with somebody at all times, but then isn't immediately swinging on the trade. So I think if Solstice can have kind of fight fire with fire, I know it's tough against Passion Project when they run all 5 down, at least getting 1 for the road is really how Solstice can try and even things up.
Yeah, and if anything, too, I think this timeout could probably be trying to figure out a way where we can get Scary Shark to activate a little bit more, because we definitely know the power that Scary Shark can bring here into a team and what she's shown yesterday against FlyQuest. But unfortunately, so far, in these setups that she's been doing towards the C side or towards A, it's kind of been avoided every single time. So every time she's trying to find fights initially, she's not able to get them. It's always going into the side of where she's not. And probably comes down to Solstice trying to figure out here where Passion Project would try to default at the very beginning. But as I see this berry about to come up, though, and everybody's still towards spawn, should I be scared? No.
Yes.
No.
You're very, very scared.
Back to a 2-2-1. So they were just making sure here that the communication was right to see what they wanted to do. We had that little fake TP going out towards the front C side just to see if there's going to be any util coming out on that end. The gamble now is that they think Passion Project may be leaning back towards the A side in these late rounds, and they have been, and they are doing now. And that's where finally Scary Shark is ready to receive the welcome guests here of Passion Project into A.
You know, is Rolling Thunder into the site. A lot of retake potential from Solstice with the lockdown. I mean, and a showstopper. Showstopper's on the other side of the world, so Passion Project making themselves heard. Gonna grab the orb. Scary Shark gonna delay them and play ideally out of the sight, but hearing that thrash, hoping to shoot it down before it gets to them. Passion Project take angles though and take control of stairs. Now 1-member advantage for Passion Project and hoping to stop the rotation from stairs and from Baby Door. Elaborate under fire. Sibui with a great win. Now 1v2 left for Panini with the judge. So you're hoping that someone's playing nice and close to the ropes to get some firepower on this judge, but I think it's tough here for
she just picked up a Vandal though, so it's fine at this point.
Okay.
But the decision now is she going to save this weapon or try to move forward? Because remember, they came back from a timeout. They don't have too much money. It looks like she's going to try to go for it.
With a double swing, okay, that got scary. But at least they swung back as a team, and Passion Project continue the streak. But hey, Solstice always bring it down to a 1v1 or a 1v2, so this is still very close.
Still very nice, though, how Passion Project engaged into that. Look at that. The fault line that came through from Orb, so that you have the KJ that could lurk up on the left side while the Thrash was moving and rotating around the map. It almost felt like Scary Shark thought that, okay, well, since I've avoided the Thrash, I can try to drop back into the site and then try to take control from backside to not allow Passion Project in and fight against them. But the Thrash that saw that information, allowed the fault line for PowerPixel to come through and lazy line and capitalize on that kill. So the coordination coming out from Passion Project is starting to feel it right now on the attack side. And that synergy, the late back style that this roster brings, now allows for them to have 5 rounds in a row and forcing now Solstice on a gamble stack towards the B site to start trying to find information there and maybe collapse towards C if there was any pressure coming through. But Passion Project, it's just like school, straight A's all the time.
Well, Solstice at least have done their homework. They've read this. They already have the 3 stack. They are sending 2 through Mound. It's a 1-for-1. And coming through the smoke, loud and proud, is Mel with 2. But with Panini's ult, Panini is back into the picture with Sabui with nothing left but to wander and hearing fire from behind. And with Panini just shooting through the wall, won't be able to get the kill to get back to life, but a Thrifty with just the sheriffs. That's insane.
Yeah, and that was so crazy. Did enough damage too before she died, though, off the res of the Clove, so that you could only need 1 sheriff body shot to secure the round. If not, I mean, it's in the hands of Sabu. You know what she could do. Very nicely done on that Thrifty round. And that's what was missing too. The confidence that Solstice to swing out of these smokes to make sure that they engage on these trades. Great communication, as it was probably a call out or just a timing, that gut feeling that most of the pressure and the attention was going to be leaned towards this A side. And that was very nice for them to get the Thrifty. A 5-on-5 in the scoreline. Solstice battling it back, but with all the 5 rounds in a row here that Passion Project has won, they're on a bye here.
Oh, Jazzy got locked into that duel with the paint shells landing right behind her. And Passion Project, where's the util to get into tree? They got stopped at the door and turned around, but they still have the members to get inside of A. And with PowerPixel taking out Mel, it's elaborate with the up. And do you save this or not? They're pretty rich, so might as well see what she can do.
Well, she could punish right away, definitely. I think at this point is trying to get some picks, maybe save the rifle or save the op after. But no, switching over to the Vandal. They definitely want to go for it.
Especially with the damage that was already done. Women, I think, came out. You heard the breach util from Tree, and the Gecko Molly unstable is down to 7 HP. Could be the one that gets info. Okay, right on the spike, and PowerPixel with the perfect time swing. And Passion Project continue to be good.
And it's on the fly adjustments that continues to put Passion Project one step ahead here against Solstice on their hit towards the A site. You saw with that position that Unstable was holding just outside of that smoke by the staircase. The last time he got thriftied, you saw that Panini and other players just swung through that smoke and make sure that they could trade off here from the A site. So with Unstable just holding there, easy backstab kill, easy A site opening. And I'm still questioning, though, that 1 versus 3 attempt, because if you're looking at it, there's only a sheriff left for Panini. This could have been important for her to save that op on that previous round, because she had definitely had enough money to buy in the next.
Thrash? Okay, locks down Jazzy. And it doesn't look like Solstice were in a position to do anything with that. And you can't get the Thrash back. Probably heard the showstopper. That's what happened. Jazzy said, bring it on. So Passion Project. Okay, well, they got the orb. Now they're smoked off. Can wait for this.
Still a
they
win.
even have the lockdown if they're really worried.
Exactly. It's still a win here for Passion Project. If you traded out a Thrash here for a showstopper where the Thrash cannot get picked up, and you have that much more util on ults, one Mosh is just not going to break that lockdown. Melia's going to get detained.
I was just... Oh, I was hoping to shoot them as they came in, and what a risk. But it didn't pay off. And then Panini falls as well. Passion Project have broken down the walls of C. And look, Another detain, but this time one that Passion Project can work with. Great double kill out of Lazy Lion and a perfect final round for Passion Project.
You needed that extra piece of util to counter that lockdown. You still had the Nanoswarm or the Sneak Bite in the hands here of that KJ, of that Viper that he could probably use on top of the mod to break that lockdown. But as he realized, oh wait, it's not broken, that just spoiled the whole plan that they had to try to play against Passion Project. They had a perfect read at least, but just unfortunately a poor execution, which allowed Passion Project to win that last round and take the lead by 2, which is actually not too bad though. You still got 5 rounds of defense for Solstice. You have a chance here to fight back on your attack. And for Passion Project, lots of pings to start things off. You're seeing here that PowerPixel A is playing towards this baby door where they could support a lot of these fault lines on A site and also across the lines on B, should the contacts be happening here on the C side. So with this comp, it could definitely do a lot of pressure here through the B and C walls, and especially with the ghosts that they currently have wheeled in their hands.
I was wondering if Unstable wanted to counter flash to fight for the orb, but deciding to just go for the safer play. Look at the crossfire that Passion Project have set up in the site. Solstice happy to grab that orb, start things off right. Do they continue to push into C? They already have 2 of Scary Shark and Elaborate checking out A, and they got the Viper wall over there. So a lot better map control on that side.
Breaking the turret, I was going to say breaking the turret early was nice because they would force Solstice to just put the foot on the brakes a bit on how they wanted to rotate across. But with that pick, you will engage Solstice into forcing to rotate towards the A side.
Okay, Solstice getting slowed here. Going right through the staircase! Surprise, Lazy Lion! But both Passion Project taking back stairs. PowerPixel A there. Now with the smoke up, it's kind of a guessing game who you're gonna land on the other side, but with the spike planted, it's Solstice with control, and look how much control they had! They went even on top of ropes and extended out to get behind. Passion Project were sitting at stairs. It's just a matter of time. Another pistol round goes in the way of Solstice.
Yeah, just on Passion Project trying to take control here towards that front B side at the beginning was a solo swing, a solo peek coming out from Jazzikins that punished her right away. They already had 3 players playing inside that B site. I know there was PowerPixel A, I know there was Jazzikins, and I think the 3rd player was going to be Lazy Lion. And I think usually when you're looking at these pistol rounds, when they're pushing over to at least break the turret, it's always a 3-player push. So just have one just haphazardly peeking while the rest are just getting ready to fall back right away instead of committing into the swing to guarantee some trades. That cost them the round. So a great opportunity now for Solstice to play the anti-eco against Passion Project, who only have 2 sheriffs in this round. And they realize that, playing as a group here for Solstice, just to make sure that there's no shenanigans of players getting caught off guard. And look how passively we're playing that flank watch from Elaborate all the way back here behind their teammates' line of the attack, and still in range of the turret to get information on beam input.
Okay, Sabui got detected there by the boom bot. Sabubu on the job, took care of it. Passion Project have 2 playing on the site, and with the breach util, with the fault line, this has slowed things down. Solstice still have to plan, but they have 2 defenders to still worry about. Ring around the Rosie, the high-low, slapped in the face by Melia. And then top ropes taken care of. It's just step 1 kill, step 2 plant, and then step 3 win for Solstice. They're really great at starting off these halves, but can they keep up this momentum?
Even the confidence of having your Vandal pushing forward to chase for these kills on Melia. And we've asked that question, what was this going to look like? Can we still have some heavy firepower coming out here from Scary Shark and from Melia? The dynamic duo of this roster that puts up so many multi-frags round after round, and some of them that we witnessed yesterday on the mainstream, on this very stream here when they played against FlyQuest. Now they have the opportunity to dictate the pace for them to actually swing through and fight, and that's been their wheelhouse right now on how they currently play this game.
Oh, what?
Yeah, they're not scared.
Satchels and Scary Shark stands there. That's insane. 4v4, and with A lobby smoked off, both dogs will be will stop barking at each other, and Solstice will think about plan B. And when I say plan B, it's more like plan C. That's where they're going to And Lazy Lion has util right at the door, and you have Unstable there to support.
Nice preemptive shots too.
Wasn't expecting Unstable to still be at that corner with all the pressure that came out. Lazy Lion converts 3 though, and has dwindled Solstice down to only 1. And they won the bonus last time. This is going to be a lot more difficult for Melia. And almost a quick turn and burn on PowerPix LA, but it's Passion Project back in the driver's seat.
That was a tough one because you saw Sibui was so far away towards the waterfall. Had a paranoia to throw into the side. PowerPix LA still had all of their utility, but they decide to be in separate positions where one kill coming out. If that 1v1 here was won by Melia, she had her showstopper ready to go off this kill against PowerPix LA if it happened. Thankfully, it didn't. It's still PowerPix LA we're talking about. They're able to close out that round and maintain the lead here for Passion Project. Where Solstice, though, like I said, that was their bonus round. You're going to have a very strong buy going into round number 16 still. As you're looking at it from Passion Project side, they only have a small shield, a guardian in the hands of Unstable. Yet, still pretty decent though. Still 3 rifles to work with, and they're putting a lot of pressure towards the A site to start, just to make sure that they secure that, and then you can start rotating or even continuously push towards the A site to punish.
Look how much space Passion Project are taking. They're even going to go past the smoke.
Wow.
1 tap, goodbye to Scary Shark. And Jazzykins is just getting more backup because she got first blooded last time, so she satchel and got aggressive at A. Now Passion Project have made those adjustments. Someone got detained, and Melia's on the hunt. With the showstopper right through the smoke. Might have heard someone close. Satcheling them to make them uncomfortable. You're gonna take that damage? Sure. Meanwhile, Solstice are killing everything else.
I see,
They
yeah.
have abandoned the B site.
Exactly. They just pulled everybody through with the showstopper. And the Thrash get the plant towards C. Melia's pushing spawn. Ooh, nice flick. That might be it. No chance now to gain space for Passion Project. Maybe the saving grace is Melia at 1 HP, so they might give them that confidence, but Jazzykins is also very low. So much time's wasted, though.
Maybe really feeling like this is 2v2 when Mel is basically 1 HP, so Passion Project the lead with confidence. And Sabubu gets denied the nade. Jazzykins and Friend have taken over the C site, tapping the spike, the mind games. Jazzykins running out of ammo, and it's Solstice that's still locked down the round.
Yeah, again, so the showstopper and the Thrash just pulled everybody on the focus. The main focus of trying to protect their teammates because it did get contact towards that side at the baby door. And unfortunately, when the showstopper, again, a cosmetic in this game, not resulting into a kill after shooting that rocket, it just kept those 3 players anchored up on that side and also allowed the engagement of the lurks to happen towards C. You saw the backstab that happened on that mini-map. Some kills on Waterfall, C-side open, fast pivot, good call. And you keep those players inside that B side just to make sure that the others can't rotate as quickly. And then you pull back because it's planted for Mound. I mean, the protocols into the chaos was very well called there for Solstice.
I'm wondering how this is going to adjust for Passion Project when we got first blood, right? Because they just took over a lobby. They pushed past it. 1 tap Scary Shark, and we're starting to wrap around. Felt like Passion Project were chasing down their prey, and it was Solstice that just kind of held it down at the C site, and Passion Project tried they took back over the site. The retake was there, but just the duel.
Yeah.
I mean, technically it was a 2v3, but Mel has 1 HP. Basically a 2v2. Just sneeze on her, but Passion Project couldn't pull through.
The game plan was still good for sure for Passion
Yeah.
Project. Sibui was already on the top of B Heaven. She was seeing jiggling, trying to play the tight angles, knows that the showstopper's coming out, so has a flash to counter that as well if she needed it. So she was trying to delay as much as she could, but they did not expect that the pathing of the showstopper and the Thrash was going to go back towards Breakable Door, which caught them off guard. And again, everything else unraveled in the favor of Solstice, and they tied the game once again. Lazy Lion has a timing.
They know Lazy Lion is there. And against Scary Shark, just a better rifle, better shots, and Unstable couldn't go for the trade, but Mel thought he could be free to just walk through rubble, and kind of miscomm. Solstice still came out ahead, and all those situations. Spike is on its way towards A, and you're 2 away from the Thrash. So how does Sabui deal with this with just the Classic, hoping to get close enough for this right click to really hurt?
Pretty much the only thing right now for Passion Project to just play their Sheriffs, kind of on their aim buddy system on both extremities. Now you're just trying to make this expensive against Solstice. Unstable might save the rifle because they've invested into that one in that previous on this round. Sorry, try to set up that trap, bait and switch with Lazy Lion. It didn't pan out.
With the Vandal, I mean, at range, this is winnable, but through the smoke, as Unstable through Util, got brought down to 45 HP, and Sabui can't do much with the Classic other than hope for an upgrade. So yeah, it will be a save for Unstable.
Yeah, they tried. They tried. They just shot some shots so that Sabui could try to at least get it halfway and maybe even do a full stick if somehow Unstable luckily got some shots and some kills through their smoke. And thankfully, the Dizzy that they threw kind of like saved our lives because there were some shots that were actually connecting onto Unstable. If it wasn't for that Dizzy, they probably would lose their lives. That was also very close. But nonetheless, it's still now back. Solstice back in lead, rather. Passion Project on that eco are able to buy around the Hero Vandal they purchased on that previous round. A couple of orbs away here from getting the Rolling Thunder and the lockdown. So I see the pressure coming out now towards the A side, trying to get that up AACP for PowerPix LA. And thankfully for them, it's going to be an easy take here for Passion Project to get this orb, because there's only Melia towards A.
Yeah, Passion Project always really aggressive at A for that orb, and not going to be contested this time. Solstice smoked off, and meanwhile they try to fight for mound control, so much real estate for Passion Project. You really got to fight them fire with fire and land your shots, or Passion Project are going to end the round quicker than you know it. And it's just Melia left, at least with the spike, but jeez, Passion Project will be able to get some economy back in their favor now.
It was basically a quick round of team deathmatch where we didn't have anybody have the responsibility of breaking Dizzies. Unfortunately, at that point, it was another bait and switch play that we're trying to do here for Unstable and Lazy Lion. And I guess Lazy Lion was, or Unstable rather, was still too tucked in to try to break the Dizzy. Whoever was on the outside was forced to try to break it and give their positions away. But then their aim was better. And that was as simple as that. Nothing really gained here from Solstice on how they were trying to work the map. They were just got caught and contained towards the spawn. Now Fault Line in an A, not a Season 8. Same principle, but it allows here for Passion Project to take Rubble control.
Yeah, they seized Rubble. Gotcha.
There you go.
I know where you're going for
there.
there. You go. And Passion Project keep getting all the space for free. Even they're pushing up through mounds, so leaves you with only one site to take. Solstice lead Thrash into B. There's a smoke kind of dividing the site in half too, so Solstice using that to their advantage. Push Passion Project out of the site ideally. With the door opening, Passion Project, these C defenders, gotta be aware.
Interesting smokes that are being placed here, though, from the Clove, from Panini. There's gaps left and right. They're just trying to, I guess, maybe trying to lean forward and break some utility, but usually there's gaps here on that left side of the boxes and even towards the lane here on Waterfall. But Satchels will do. They did that to break the alarm bot at least. And now it's time for Solstice to play the mind games. You're forcing now Scary Shark to activate, make a play, sell a fake here towards the A site. Currently working as Passion Project have 4 players rotated on that side.
As Scary Shark moves through A, they could encounter PowerPix LA. Yeah, didn't check that corner, so Lurk deactivated at A, but C fully taken over. Play will ensue, and I mean, Passion Project had already left the site. Lazy Lion didn't want that smoke. They have the lockdown. They don't need to worry, but Thrash will lead it, and Jazzy takes down Melia, who went too far. Passion Project got the kills. Here's the retake. Showstopper with her sun don't shine, and Sabubu will do their best. But hey, through the flash, they'll still get one, but that's all Solstice will get. Wow, Passion Project, their retake potential is crazy.
Still a nice attempt by Solstice. The plan to push towards the spawn, to play the contact, and also to push right away as soon as the turret spotted them, because they knew that from the position of the turret, Lazy Lion wasn't too far, so you want to take control of that spawn. You don't want to allow here Passion Project to throw all of these ults on the retake. But Unstable is just, once again, one step ahead. The one-way smoke that's being thrown here, they're just playing behind it and using that Thrash to create that space for Jazzy to get the showstopper and the retake through. And no surprise coming out, especially when you're playing with the solo initiator with Sabubu. Disney can only do so much.
I like that Melia is gonna try and fight against Jazzy, ideally against Jazzy, because she's usually the one who satchels into A. But finally a first blood for Solstice, but it's traded. And then that makes Passion Project think twice about how much they want to roundabout through the attacker's spawn. Got the Viper's Pit and an interesting spot in the A lobby to hold down the back line. Passion Project rotating all the way through B, through the top of ropes. And it's a 3 versus 3. Panini activating the ult. Will need a kill. Will need the help to do so. Climbing the rope. And Passion Project are all there. Just waiting for the lockdown as Passion Project and Panini will not be coming back to life anytime soon. A space regained from Passion Project off the lockdown. And with Sabubu shut down and Tree, the round is just over. Another great retake from Passion Project as they climb back in the second half.
Yeah, very nicely done. Yes, it was questionable here for Scary Shark with the ult that she threw here towards the A main, but I guess it kind of makes sense putting myself in their shoes, because usually with these Rolling Thunder pinches, there's usually a 5-player hit from like 2 from C, 3 from B, or vice versa, and it ends up being a lot of trades and then a triple flank. So she was expecting that triple flank to happen and just threw the pit to try to contain, but unfortunately that kind of contains her in that single pit where she can't do anything else but stay within there and cannot help on trying to look back towards the cross over towards A. And all Passion Project needed to do was just do a simple rotate back towards the A site and activate the lockdown here that Lazy Lion had, and they overtake the site. So that's unfortunate. Just a little bit of on the fly calls here that's under that pressure that unfortunately for the first time in this game slips from the decision making from Solstice. But it's one that was costly here because they're going to be on an eco now on a half buy. They need to figure out what they want to do with this economy. Play to win, play to bring this into overtime. But Passion Project, they're in a great spot here to get this 12th round that they need here to close the map. Or get closer to close the map.
Yeah, it's a great point. Yeah, and it's a great point that after the scramble that happened at Mound, Scary Shark was like, oh, could Passion Project be on the flank? Well, shuts that down and leaves them with only one tunnel to look down, and it's A long. Didn't work out for them. Passion Project, ever since that timeout they took in the second half, have been gathering momentum, wind in their sails. And with Solstice on a half buy, to see if they can get close range to leave the turret behind to watch the flank. Passion Project not being aggressive at A lobby either.
No, they're just ready for a fault line in case an orb gets tapped. So they're just comfortable here of letting Solstice walk up, trying to get information from the turret, the information from Lazy Lion, and just to play the retake once Solstice set up here on B.
The other side too is Power Pixel A, who's happy to be smoked off. And Sabui could come through top site, maybe knowing that Solstice like to get cheeky. They like to eager and extend out of the site. Jazzykin's detected on the flank. It's not going to be checking this box. And the patience out of Panini, but it's tough with the Sheriff to convert to in that case. Solstice shaved down to only 2 players. At least Melia has the hero rifle, but man, when you can't see, it's tough to shoot, huh? Passion Project will defuse it, get it halfway and stick it, and Solstice dead in the water.
Map point now for Power. Dude, Power Pixel A and crew of Passion Project.
I know.
There you go.
Got it in your head.
Made that work. But no, that definitely, if anything, as you mentioned, very difficult to try to land those shots here from Panini. You only have a Sheriff. There's 2 players coming through. They didn't really line up here at that point, and you're starting to see that window closing, that window of opportunity to backstab. You can't wait for them to line up because everybody else from Passion Project are closing in here from Unbreakable. So it makes it so difficult there for you to play a little bit more patient, and you let that slip. Unfortunately, it's not around here that you can convert on a Thrifty for Solstice. Thankfully, though, it allows a lockdown to be ready. As Elaborate was only 1 away on that previous round. Op on the attack, too. Oh, at least got one before.
Unstable got 2, and 2 is better than 1. And Melia trying to prove that at least she's the better Raze, will get into the site easily. Solstice will have the plant too. And this is a must win for Solstice, where the economy is. Retake for Passion Project. They'll send Thrash from Unstable. And Solstice leaving the site, trying to be undetected as Passion Project try to aftershock their way in. Panini playing close, and Melia falls. Passion Project in a 3 versus 1. It's just that easy. Passion Project will take map 1.
Big defensive half coming out from Passion Project to close out this first map. Very well done for both of these teams. But overall, when it came down to playing the defensive side for Passion Project, they looked so much better. I don't think it's necessarily because of, you know, the role swaps and the last minute swaps that we had here for Solstice. They still look pretty good here despite those switches. But unfortunately here, it's just Passion Project that looks a lot stronger.
There's great starts to Solstice with the pistols, with the anti-ecos, sometimes the bonus, but they just get drawn out in the end. Imagine if Passion Project started winning pistols. This could be more one-sided than we think, but it's still such an exciting match. 13-9 will end this, and we have one more map, or maybe 2 more maps to go. I don't know. We'll find out after the break.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Hey guys, it's Jimmy Lin. In this series, I'm going to walk you through Attack on Pearl. Watch out for the stairs, clear this angle. You're going to be able to fight this.